Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name's Tori. This is Tori Moves. Today we're going to be going through a 15-minute warm up. You can also use this as a cool down. It's not very specific, but I always do this in the beginning of my yoga classes. It really helps warm up everything through the back, the hips, and also into your core. So, this is great if you're about to do a workout or go for a run or you just need a little bit of yoga, but you don't want to get anything too intense, too sweaty. This is perfect for you. We're going to go ahead and get started. All you need is your mat and yourself. If you have other props that you know you like to use, like maybe a strap would be helpful, but you definitely don't need it. We're going to lie all the way back and down. You can hug your knees in towards your chest. You can start to rock just a little bit from side to side and notice what feels tense and what feels heavy and see if you can allow that weight to release. And I want our breathing to be in and out through the nose, but to start, if you feel like everything is just tense and you can't let it go, you can inhale through your nose and exhale out through your mouth, just like a deep sigh. And that sometimes helps to release everything. The little rocking motion from side to side usually helps calm the nervous system too and can help you relax. When you feel ready, you can set the soles of the feet down onto the floor. The knees can either drop in towards each other or out to the side, whatever feels more comfortable for your hips. And let's take our right hand to place over our belly and the left hand to place over your rib cage so you can feel your breath move through your body. Our eyes are closed. Inhaling through your nose and drawing the air all the way down to fill the belly so you can feel the hand rise that's over your belly and then fill your rib cage. And then take the last little sips of air and fill up into your collarbones. And then as you exhale, you reverse that. So you empty the air first from the collarbones and then from the ribs and then from the navel. So this is our 3-part breathing for yogis, or you can think of it as like a diaphragmatic breath. We're trying to get the whole torso involved in our breathing. We tend to only breathe into the upper part of our neck and our shoulders, and that actually contributes to a lot of the tension we have in our neck. So you want to start to be intentional about breathing into your belly here for the next few moments. And it seems really simple and almost really silly, but effective breathing can really do a lot for your body. So take some time to feel like your breath is clearing out your mind and you're making space to just focus on being present in your body for the next few moments. Allowing yourself to fully be here. And it's okay if you get distracted, if other thoughts pop up. And just allow yourself to return to the present moment without judgment. Okay, we're going to start to add a little bit more movement. So we'll reach our arms out to the sides now. You can walk your feet so they're about mat width apart or wider than your hips, and let your knees drop from one side and then drop over to the other side. And let this be almost kind of lazy. You know, your legs are heavy, so let them be heavy as they drop from one side to the other. Feel like your shoulders and your head stay grounded and you're just moving through your hips, your knees, your ankles. Then we'll draw the knees back to the center here. Slide your arms in a little bit closer. And we'll reach both legs up towards the ceiling. So it's okay if your knees are a little bit bent. I would recommend that for everybody, even if you feel like your hamstrings are really open. You can even grab the backs of your legs. You're going to roll the ankles around, wiggle your toes, and try and get your toes to spread apart. Like make space in between your toes. See if like each toe can have its own space, not touching any of the other toes. And then see what the range of motion is for your feet and your ankles. Get that to move. Again, our feet, something simple might seem silly, but there's actually a lot of important stuff that comes from our feet. They're our foundation. So if your feet are a little bit tight, then your whole rest of your body is going to be tight. Okay, let's shake it out a little bit here. Loosen up through your calves. If the calves are tight, that also not great, but that's why we're here, right? Okay. And then we'll release the left leg down long and just let your right knee bend in towards you. So there's a couple options here. The left knee can be bent like this, and this is great. I love this on days when my hips or my back feel a little bit tight. Or you can lengthen it out. Just make sure if you lengthen it out that you're active through this leg, so your glute is engaged and you're actively keeping your leg straight. You're not like a little lazy fish leg. So we're hugging the right knee in. Your elbows can go out to the side. You can feel your shoulder blades pull together. Take a deep, full breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, draw your nose up towards your knee, rounding through your back. And I want you to feel like your navel is pulling in and your shoulders are pulling down and your neck is relaxed. And then slowly lower, and on your inhale, let everything relax and sink into the mat. Let it all go. And then as you exhale, feel your shoulder blades pull together, feel your navel hug towards the spine, and then lift your nose up towards your knee, feeling strong through your shoulders and your back, but relaxed in your neck. And then lower back down, inhale at the bottom. Okay, one more time. Exhale, draw everything up. Shoulders down, nose to knee. My bottom leg is really active. And then slowly lower everything back down. Okay. So from here, we're going to straighten the leg up towards the ceiling. You can grab behind the back of the leg. We're going to point and flex through the foot here. So now we just have 5 toes, 1 foot to focus on. Make some circles here. Point and flex. See how everything moves. Okay. So this next part, it seems simple, but there's a lot of different pieces that we're trying to keep still. So your arms are going to be glued down to the mat, and I even like to kind of tuck my shoulder blades down and under. And then your hips and your low back are really important. So you could even like have a hand below your back and one on your belly, so you can feel, if you're like more of a kinesthetic person, that it's not moving as you lower your right leg down towards the floor and then lift it back up towards the ceiling. So you want to try and be as still as possible through your spine and through your hips. And your abs are working. You might not feel it. It doesn't feel like a crunch, but that's what our abs are designed to do, is to stabilize our body, and our limbs can move independently of the torso. Okay, one more time. We're going to bring the leg up towards the ceiling. Now I'm still active through that bottom leg, and if you feel like your bottom leg is pulling you on your back here, go ahead and bend it. And we'll circle through the right leg here, making little circles like you're washing a window on the ceiling, and then circle in the other direction. And you feel how your hips want to shuffle a little bit from side to side here. You want to keep them really grounded, really flat. Resist the motion. Use your breath. And then really reach the leg out nice and long. We'll cross the right ankle over the left knee. Pause here. Just breathe. Let your hips be heavy, shoulders heavy, head heavy. If you want, you can thread your hands through, grab onto the back of your left leg and kind of pull it in towards you. And you should mostly be feeling this through the outside of your right hip. If you want to, you can also lengthen the left leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and bend the knee if the leg was straight. Keep this figure 4 position. Reach your arms out to a T. Let both of the legs drop over to the left as you turn your head and look towards your right hand. And if you want your shoulders to be grounded. Ideally, the shoulder blades are reaching together so both of them can touch the mat. And then breathe into the space on the right side of the body. So feel like the space between your ribs and your hips can move as you breathe. Okay, let's start to come back to the middle here. We're going to take both legs back up towards the ceiling, shake it out, let it go. Okay, Second side. So your right leg can either come down to the floor or it can lengthen out and away. Just make sure if it's lengthening out and away that the bottom, the glute is engaged and that leg is active. The left knee is going to hug in towards the chest here. You want to feel your shoulder blades pull together down your back. Inhale fully, and then as you exhale, feel the navel hug into the spine. Lift through your head, neck, and shoulders, nose to knee. So you want to have length in your neck. Everything's happening through your core. And then slowly lower back down. Inhaling at the bottom. Make sure you have time for everything to relax. Take an extra breath if you need to. And then exhale, lift back up. Sometimes it helps to really forcefully exhale, like you're blowing out a birthday candle, to help connect to your abs. Inhale, lower back down. One more time. Exhale and lift. I always, even when I'm teaching, I might not do the moves full out, but I always breathe full out, if that makes any sense. So I find myself like exhaling for the people that I'm teaching. So it's okay if you can hear yourself breathe. Don't be weird about it. We're going to lengthen the leg up towards the ceiling. You can grab behind your thigh, flex and point through your foot, wiggle your toes, roll the ankle around. So now we just have these 5 toes to focus on, this one ankle. So be aware of what's happening, of where in your foot it feels tight, of which toes don't really want to move or separate, or which ones are moving really well, or where you feel strong. Okay, and then we're going to take our hands out to the side. So now we're focused on our low back and our hips and trying to keep them as still as possible. Now, like, our body is moving, so obviously there's going to be some small movements of your hips and your back. You're just trying to not let them be any larger than they have to be. You're going to slowly lower your leg down towards the floor and then lift back up towards the ceiling. And lower and lift. And if you're doing this right, like, I feel a little quiver in my core. I did take a Pilates class this morning, so obviously my abs are already a little bit worked for today. But you should feel like this little bit of resistance. Your abs are holding on. They're trying to help stabilize through your hip and through your back. So as my leg moves away, my navel pulls into my spine, and then I reach out through my heel and anchor through my hip to pull the heel back up. Okay, we're going to keep the heel up towards the ceiling, and your leg does not have to be like perfectly 90-degree angle. There can be a bend in your knee. You want to circle the leg inside the hip socket, little small circles like you're washing a window on the ceiling. And then you want to feel like you're gluing your body onto the mat. So everything that's touching the floor needs to be pressing into the floor and not rocking side to side. And then start to circle in the other direction. And that includes your neck too. Like, I noticed my neck was a little bit hyperextended, which makes it hard to connect and pull your abs in towards your spine. Okay, that's enough on this side. We're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. And just pause here for a second. We get really caught up in like, what's the next thing? Where are we going? What's happening? So just let it be for a moment. Let your hips relax. Just let the knee fall out to the side. And then we can reach our hands through around and grab behind the thigh, letting your shoulders drop down your back. And just breathe into all of the spaces. And if you feel like there aren't any spaces, if it feels really constricted, then use your breath to make the space. And really, like, the best thing about yoga is there's never this like perfect ideal of one day where you master all these poses and you never have to do it again. It's just this awareness of continuing to show up and see what your body is, where your body is every day. Because, we're a living organism just like everything else. So you can't expect that because one day something was one way that it's always going to be that way, which might be positive or negative. So if you have things you don't like, you can change them. And if you have things you do like, continue to cultivate them. You can extend the leg here if you felt like that added something on the other side. When I do that, it starts to take away from the stretch I feel through my hip, but for some people it feels even better. So okay, we'll start to set the right foot down on the floor. Arms go out to a T and then drop your legs over to the right. as you turn your head and look towards the left, really trying to keep your shoulder blades pulling together and reach out through your fingers. And I'm trying to just turn at my neck, which, so you know how we talked about in the beginning, the breath being just in your collarbones and the upper part of your rib cage and everything, that actually makes your neck a little bit tight. So what a lot of people start to do is they start to twist through their shoulders because our body is smart enough to realize that your neck is tight. So have the awareness to feel like you're just turning your head at your neck and keeping your shoulders grounded so you can breathe into the side of the neck and make some space there. We'll take one more deep breath. Okay, and then we'll start to come back to center. Uncross the legs, shake it up towards the ceiling. So this will be our last move here. This will call our finishing move. This is so good for the hips and so good for the back. We're going to have our heels together, toes apart. You don't need to be like auditioning for ballet recital or something. Just have your feet a little bit separated, or the toes a little bit separated. Your arms are going to be down on your sides. Then you're going to reach the legs out to the side, and then exhale, pull the heels together and feel like you're pulling through your abs, through your inner thighs. And so inhale, reach out, open. Exhale, zip everything together. And inhale, open, and exhale, zip everything together. So you notice how my back and my hips are not moving. It's just the femur inside the hip socket. We'll do 2 more times. Open and close, and open and close. Okay, so take a little break here, shake it out. You can kick your legs, whatever feels good. If you want to rock side to side. Whew, okay. Second part to this, you're going to reach the legs up. Now have your toes together and your heels apart. So we're a little bit pigeon-toed or internally rotated at the hips. So it's all the way up to your femur, to your hip socket. You're going to reach your legs out. Now don't be surprised if they don't open quite as wide. That's normal. They really shouldn't open quite as wide. And then pull the big toes back together. The heels stay apart. And open and close. And open and close. So this direction for me feels a lot more challenging, and I feel it a lot more in my left hip than my right. So if something like that is happening to you, that's pretty normal. For most people, we tend to turn one leg out or in more than the other, and that can contribute to back pain because it makes our hips unequal. One more time, open and close. So what this move does is it helps to balance the muscles on the inside and the outside of the legs and works the flexibility and the strength. Okay, we'll hug the knees in towards the chest. You can start to rock a little bit forward and back. We'll rock ourselves up to a seated position. So thank you for joining me for that little 15-minute stretch, warm up. It could be a cool down, whatever you want to make it. If you're interested in something that's a little bit more conditioning, that's going to be part 2 of this series. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more people find my videos. And if you're interested in more mindful movement in short bursts, please subscribe to my channel. I try to make a new video every week. And thank you so much. Leave a comment below on what your favorite move was.